Advisor Summit. Economic experts focusing on market growth and risk. Register now at cnbcevents.com/FA.
European markets closing slightly higher for the day as investors digest more earnings reports in the region. The Stoxx 600 higher for the fourth day in a row and at all-time highs. Sweden, worth a mention today, central bank kicking off its rate cutting cycle for the first time in 8 years. Cut rates to 3 3/4%. The bank saying it could cut 2 more times in the second half of the year. So there's a central bank cutting rates. Speaking of, ECB member Robert Holzmann commenting on the Federal Reserve saying, quote, to a certain extent, our data and decisions are naturally influenced by the Fed. The Fed with the dollar is, figuratively speaking, the gorilla in the room, because that's what the ECB is getting now. A lot of questions about, are we sure we want to go so far ahead of the Fed if we are going to kick off the rate cuts in June and the Fed not looking to cut till later on in the year? So they say it matters, it influences. This is what Lagarde told me too,
yeah, I remember.
the president, but that they do have to make policy for the Eurozone, and that's the priority.
The conversations about Canada aren't that different right now, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, because also seen as cutting rates.
Yeah.
These economies aren't as strong as the U.S., and so they're more worried about economic growth, and they're not seeing necessarily the progress stall on inflation like the U.S. is seeing as well. So that explains why we're at different speeds here. But of course, because the dollar move is so influential and these currencies weaken, that can push up inflation as well. So that has to be a risk that they're thinking about and considering in making this move.
Yeah, we say it never matters, but Uber today it's a big part of that story.
A strong dollar.
Yeah, that
absolutely.
A couple hours into trading here, trying to revisit some session highs. Let's get to Bob Pisani. Bob.
Trying, but it's not quite there. We had this great little rally off the jobs report for a few days that sort of fizzled out because the rally's not really broadening. We really kind of had a big problem around 5,200 in the S&P. Some of the big tech names are continuing to move. Some of the semiconductors, Taiwan semis had a great run. It's up maybe 5-6% since the jobs report. NVIDIA's up 5 or 6%. But other smaller tech names have not really doing much. Snowflake, for example, the trades right here, has been flat really since the jobs report. If you look at the broader market, industrials had some modest moves up for a while. I was talking about the strength there. Caterpillar's up a little less than 2%. It's held on, but it's not adding to the rally. It's still up since the jobs report. Banks, remember right after the jobs report, they just had a terrific 2 or 3 day run. It's kind of all fizzled out. PNC, here's a big regional bank, was 158 on the morning of the jobs report on Friday. It was 158 at the open. It's 156 now. So it's the nice little pop, but then it's just sort of floated to the downside. Then we had some brief little moves up in more defensive names. Colgate had a new high, essentially. That was okay. Procter, Coca-Cola were all sitting near new highs. And you see here again, near new highs, nothing to complain about, but it's sort of fizzled out. It's not really doing much else. Then the energy stocks sort of fizzled as well. They haven't been doing anything for a while. There's Chevron here, right here behind you, Tom. And that's also been essentially flat for a while as well. So if you look at everything here, we don't have enough stuff that's moving. A few tech stocks is not going to keep the market broadening out. That's why we keep stalling out around that 5,200 level. Finally, just want to note, IPOs continue. We're going to have 3 of them this week. Going to have one tomorrow here, trading on the NASDAQ tomorrow. Silvaco Group, this is a big computer-aided design software company. They're going to be raising about $100 million. Again, this is tech-oriented, so we'll see how this does. It's unprofitable, and we'll keep an eye on that. But there's another interesting one on Friday that will be here at the NYSE. Zeekr Intelligent Technology. This is a China EV manufacturer. Came out of nowhere. Friday night, they posted they were going to trade down here. This is a Geely Auto of China spinoff. It's a fairly large deal. It's going to raise about $350 million, 17.5 million American depository shares. Those are foreign shares trading here at $18 to $21. So we'll keep an eye on that. And that's an EV play. That is China. And of course, it's tech. So an intersection of 3 different ideas there. Again, Friday here at the NYSE. Carl, back to you.
I'll take it, Bob, especially that China angle. Really interesting. Thank you. Time now for news update. Seema Modi has it for us. Hi, Seema.
Hi, Sarah. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin